Thank you. We'll call the meeting to order. It's now 10:02. First item on the agenda is the land acknowledgement. Would you like to do that for us, Elizabeth?
Sure. Kettle Creek Conservation Authority wishes to acknowledge the treaty and traditional lands originally occupied by the Indigenous First Nation peoples of the Anishinaabe, Attawandaron, and Haudenosaunee nations. ACCA strives to build meaningful relationships with Indigenous communities and recognizes the importance of respecting these treaties and lands.
Thank you, Elizabeth. Are there any declarations of pecuniary interest this morning? Seeing none, we'll move on. Is there any items for the hearing board? Seeing none, we'll move on to delegations, which there are none. And next is the minutes of the meeting held on April the 15th. Can I get a mover and seconder for those minutes, please?
So moved.
Thank you. Seconder?
I'll move it or second it.
Thank you, John. Questions or comments on the minutes?
No.
Seeing none, all those in favor, please read the roll call.
Todd Noble. Todd Noble.
Just using that as a, and at some point you go.
Thank you. Frank Burrs.
Yes.
Grant Jones.
Yes.
Sharon McMillan.
Yes.
Jerry Cribble.
Yes.
Sam Trousseau. I believe is absent. John Wilson
Yes.
and Lori Baldwin Sands.
Yes,
And that motion passes.
thank you. Next is matters arising from the minutes. First is the media report with Betsy.
Thank you, Madam Chair. A number of social posts that did well this past month. The first was a post welcoming our new seasonal staff to the campgrounds. The next was construction at Ron McNeil and Dalewood is impacting access to our parking lot for the Dalewood Reservoir Trail, so notifying users of that. And lastly, announcement of the food truck lineup for the Kettle Creek Food Truck Festival coming up on June 6th. And finally, a picture from the Elmer Express from a meeting where the general managers and chairs and vice chairs from the 4 conservation authorities that will form the Eastern Lake Erie Regional CA.
Thank you. Questions or comments for Betsy? Please speak up. I cannot see everyone's hand.
No questions, other than Betsy, who's the guy with the hat in the Elmer Express picture?
That's just the Underhill, the GM of Catfish.
God. Okay.
Thank you. Next, we have the project tracking. Elizabeth?
Yeah, so busy start to the season and some good news for board members. We were successful in our application for Canada Summer Jobs and have 6 positions for 8 weeks approved there. Betsy's been gearing up the Kettle Creek Environmental Youth Corps and 13 youth have registered. We planted a tall grass prairie at the Stanley Lyle Grove, 7 acres total. And pretty majority of staff did help out for one day at least at the London Middlesex Children's Water Festival in London this year. And we've been busy with our tree orders with 65 landowners purchasing over 10,000 trees. So those went out the door in early May 8th and 9th, and it's been pretty good tree planting weather. And we held our in-staff training sessions for all our campground staff, April 27th to 30th. And just an additional plug for the Kettle Creek Food Truck Festival will be coming up Saturday, June 6th, which will be here before we know it, from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. And if any board members would like to volunteer, even for a couple of hours, I'm sure Jesse would appreciate that. Just let us know, have some time to spare. And that's everything.
Thank you. Questions or comments from the members?
I've got a comment. I guess we're band's all geared up. We're set for the food truck festival and looking forward to it. been sharing the stuff on my Facebook page and got lots of responses. So fingers crossed for the weather.
Thank you. And what time are you on, John?
I think it's 3:00.
So don't change it this year.
No, I will look right now. I'm pretty sure it's 3.
Thank you. Anything else from the members? I do have a quick comment then that it was noted by the Parks and Recreation Department, and I noticed it at our council meeting last week about the 800 trees that were planted as part of the tree planting. So it was very, very well received in the city of St. Thomas and the relationship we continue have building with KCCA. So thank you for that. Anything else from the project tracking? Next is watershed conditions. Jennifer?
I'm sorry, Chair, Jerry Cribble has his hand up.
Thank you. I'm sorry, Jerry, I don't see across the top. Go ahead, please.
No, no problem at all. Through the chair to Elizabeth, I just want to compare to last year, and I think it's great that we secured those summer hours. Was it same as last year, or was it less or more last year?
It's the same as last year.
Perfect. Thank you very much. No more questions.
Thank you, Jerry. Anything else from the members? Thank you very much. We'll move along then to watershed conditions. Jennifer.
Chair Jennifer is unable to join us today. She's actually at the International Flood Forecasting Conference in London. So it's a great opportunity for her. It's very rarely that we have an international conference locally. So great opportunity for her to connect with some peers there. And I'm sure she'll bring back a report for next meeting. Watershed conditions for May, the lake continues to be lower than the record high, and it's currently sitting at about 174.40. We did have about 146% of the average total rainfall in March. And Environment Canada is out looking for May and July to have near normal temperatures, but below normal precipitation for the region. So I would expect that we'll see water levels remain low throughout this summer. The small drinking water system is back up and running at Lake Whitaker, and distribution samples from all 3 systems are tested for bacteria throughout the camping season, and residual fluorine levels are checked in combination about twice a month. And that's it for the watershed conditions report.
Thank you. Questions or comments for Elizabeth on the report?
None here.
Your names are not all across my screen. Is that you, Sharon?
No, I have no comment or question. It's good.
Thank you. All right, we'll move along then to Conservation Ontario. Elizabeth?
Yeah, Todd and I had the opportunity to attend the Conservation Ontario Council meeting earlier in the month. This was the annual general meeting, so the elections of officers occurred, and you can see the slate of successful candidates up there. Not much change over last year. I did want to highlight one report that was included in the council agenda, and that was the annual reporting for the permit statistics across the province. 36 CAs issued a combined total of 9,647 permits, which was up about 34% from 2024. So despite that increase, the CAs are still able to get 97% of major and 96% of minor permits out within the provincial timelines. So still very well, good performance across the province in ensuring those provincial timelines are met. And then the chart at the right of the screen just is detailing how Kettle Creek is stacking up to the provincial average in terms of timelines. So you can see that the average permit decision overall is made in 10.3 days, and Kettle Creek is making decisions in about 2.5 days. So Kettle Creek continues to be performing well within the timelines and well below the provincial average.
Thank you. Impressive. Todd, do you have anything to add from your attendance at the meeting?
Can you guys hear me or no?
Yes, we can hear you.
Can you hear me? Oh, okay, good. Um, the one part of the meeting that we were really looking forward to, was when the one with the lawyer. And, that seemed to be the part of the meeting that got cut short, so I was a little disappointed with that part. I do have one question for Elizabeth. What's the increase in our permits for KCCA? You have 34% for, 2024 for all of the CAs, but are ours up or are we holding steady?
We're, Chair to Todd, we're pretty much holding steady. Last year wasn't a significant increase from us over 2024. We were holding steady about 64 permits, I believe, in 2024 and 2025.
Thank you for your question, Todd.
Thank you. I guess the other part of the, pardon me?
I said thank you for your question.
The other part of
Continue.
the, oh, okay. The other part of the meeting, I think everybody's kind of the same opinion that we really don't know what problem the province is trying to solve. So we'll see what the new year brings, I guess, when they do what they do. That was the big question.
It's political, Todd. Who's lobbying them? That's it. That's only my comment. They're not going to save any money here. It's going to cost us all more. So the beat goes on.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Thank you for your comments, Todd. Thank you for your comments, Frank. Is there anything further from members of the committee? Seeing none, next item is the 2026 meeting dates, updated. Elizabeth.
So thank you to members for answering the poll. As further outlined in a report that'll be later in the agenda regarding the budget, I just wanted to make sure that we did schedule those summer meetings because I think we're going to need them to get that budget rolling out and to address some other consolidation topics that might come up throughout the summer. So we've scheduled the July 15th meeting as a hybrid at 10 a.m. and then another one in August for August 12th. And based on the responses from members, I believe that we'll be able to get quorum for both of those meetings. So just an acknowledgement that those meetings have been scheduled and you should have received a meeting invite for both of those now.
Thank you. Comments from the members? Seeing none, there is a recommendation. Could we read the recommendation, Elizabeth? And then I'll call for the vote, please.
Sure, that the staff reports and matters arising A through E be received, and further that the updated 2026 meeting dates be approved.
And the roll call, please. Oh, sorry, mover and a seconder. Thank you.
I'll move.
I'll move it.
Okay, was that Grant and Todd?
Yep.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Sorry, Todd Noble. Frank Burrs. Grant Jones.
Yes.
Sharon McMillan.
Yes.
Jerry Pribble.
Yes.
John Wilson.
Yes.
And Lori Baldwin Sands.
Yes.
And that motion passes.
Thank you. Next is items of correspondence.
I don't believe there was any items of correspondence, Chair.
Thank you. Next item is, I have statement of revenue and expenses.
There's no report this month.
Thank you. And now we're into new business. First item of new business, regional consolidation of the CAs. Elizabeth, go ahead.
Yes, Chair, if I may, I've prepared a little bit of a summary report for members that really will encompass items 1, 2, and 3 under the regional consolidation topic. So what I would like to address basically all at once is the minister's direction under section 1.14, the appointment of the transition committee and the guiding principles for transition. They're all very, very related. And I just wanted to walk through members and refresh them where we are in this process this morning. Next slide. So this is basically the timeline that the province circulated out to CAs late last month. And it basically takes us from the time of royal assent of Bill 97, which was April 23rd, right up into February 1st, which is the transition date. I think the key things to look for on that timeline is that we're going to be going through this morning is on May 1st. We knew this was coming. The government released their minister's direction, which outlined prohibitions for the transition period. And I'll take you through those in a moment. And then they also have made a request as of May 13th for CAs to begin submitting information about our CA so that they can formulate a snapshot of each CA prior to the transition committees coming into place. They've asked for our transition committee names to that committee that they be appointed by June 30th. And then we have the nominations closing for the municipal elections around on August 21st, which is creating pressure to get those budgets approved before that happens, before the municipal election in the fall. So what's happened since last we've met? This is kind of the structure that is beginning to take shape. We have the Ontario Provincial Conservation Agency, and they will have a board of directors, they'll have a staff, and then under them, there's going to be a project executive that will be working and chairing the transition committee. So right now, the Ontario Provincial Conservation Agency has made appointments to their board of directors. These were provincial appointments. You can see the 5 representatives that were appointed up on the screen now. They are all deputy ministers, I believe, from areas of expertise that somehow relate to CA businesses. So you have the Deputy Minister of College and Universities, Deputy Minister of Francophone Affairs, Deputy Minister of Sport, Red Tape Reduction, and Emergency Preparedness and Response. So those appointments were made a couple of weeks ago. And then just on Friday, I circulated out to members. The province also posted the project executive positions. So these project executives, if you recall, will be chairing the transition committee. There will be 9 of them throughout the 8 of them across the province, 1 each for the separate regions. And they will look over the transition committee, and then following February 1st, they will become the CAO of the new regional conservation authorities. So those postings, they are public. They were circulated out to CAs, but I understand it's also been posted to various job posting sites across the province. And the closing date is May 25th. So next steps in terms of us and our feed into this transition is that we need to appoint the general manager and 1 elected official by June 30th to that transition committee. Each predecessor CA will have those 2 positions on the committee, and again, it will be overseen by that project executive. With the project executives, just their job just being posted, and the province giving CAs until June 30th to make the appointments to the transition committee. I don't expect the transition committee will be up and running until late July or early August before they even begin their work on the transition plans. So in the meantime, the province has engaged Ernst & Young to work with each individual CA to begin to gather data on the various status of the CAs. And we have now until June 13th to submit that data to Ernst & Young, and they will be compiling it into what they're labeling as snapshots for each CA. Those snapshots will be given to each CA and then used by those CAs to help inform their work on the transition committee. Ernst & Young is basically asking for information on 6 main topic areas, and you can see those on the screen in front of you. They range from probably what you would expect someone to need to know about an organization when considering consolidation, governance and organization structure, financial performance, workforce and human resources, operational procedures, systems and supporting technology, and technology controls are all elements. And so Ernst & Young has sent those areas out and then has given examples of the type of documentation they're looking for from CAs. It has been stressed that they don't want us to be coming up with new information, but basically giving as much information as we have right now on those topic areas and sharing that with Ernst & Young. They will also be arranging a 1-hour interview with the senior staff from each CA to facilitate any questions that we might have on the data request, as well as obtaining additional context that we feel is imperative for the province and Ernst & Young to know as we move into this transition. They really want to understand the depth and breadth of our local programming, and have stressed that it's not an audit or an evaluation of her performance so much as just getting that snapshot of where each CA is at. So this is another timeline to look at it from Ernst & Young's perspective. They've held the kickoff meetings with each CA in early May. Data collection will end by mid-June, and then they'll be working from June to July to finalize the current state findings of each CA, and then developing snapshots, and followed by that a playbook for consolidation, and that playbook will be provided to each regional transformation committee. So those transition committees, as I said, I don't expect that they will really take off until early August, I would think, and then we're right into the municipal elections as well. And so the GMs, the 4 GMs from Long Point, Grand, Catfish, and Kettle, we got together and really felt that we wanted to begin to have conversations and begin thinking about this consolidation before August. And so we held an early meeting with all 4 CAs, the GMs, and the chairs and vice chairs. It was held at Long Point, and it really was an opportunity, 1, for us to meet each other, and 2, to give kind of a high overview of our CAs, just so that we can get a better perspective of our partners in this consolidation. So you can see a quick snapshot of each CA up on the screen as shared at that meeting. So a big variance in watershed size, all the way from Catfish at 490 to the Grand at 6,800 kilometers square. Again, our boards vary in size from 5 to 26. And budgets from high of roughly 40 million with Grand River to 1.7 million with Catfish Creek. So at that meeting, we all basically expressed the desire to approach consolidation basically as a partnership, and to protect as much as we can of our identities and the way that we have been operating for decades, really. And so that's where these guiding principles for transition began to take place. And we wanted to ensure that a successful consolidation would respect the past, build on shared achievements, and create a united region capable of delivering our same programs and services, if not at the same level, at a better level. So each of the principles that we came up with, we didn't list in order of priority. We thought it was very important for the public, for staff, for stakeholders to understand that we were valuing any one more principle than the other, that we believe that they're all essential and collectively will provide a good framework for the future. So those principles included that we want to ensure that we have an accountable and transparent governance in the new model. Fiscal responsibility was a key topic that we're looking at as fiscally responsible only for the short term, but we're building something for the long term that works. Key topic areas under this bucket would be preserving our reserves, that the reserves that each CA has built are preserved for their intended purposes and the local watershed. A really important one is the commitment to workforce stability and that idea that staff should come first in the consolidation talks and planning, that we want to prioritize the well-being, the retention, fair treatment of our staff throughout the process. And that will ensure that we'll be able to continue with the service excellence so that the public won't see a blip in the high quality, locally responsive programs and services that they've come to enjoy. At the same time, we know that we will have to ensure risk management so that critical services are not interrupted, such as flood forecasting. And we want to make sure that the watershed-based integrated watershed management philosophy that CAs were built in is not lost or diluted in the consolidation. And finally, that we're transparent and have clear communication with the public, our staff, municipalities, and stakeholders throughout this process. So each, the chairs and vice chairs reviewed that draft. The finalized draft is what was included in the advanced package. And each CA is presenting it to their respective boards and asking the boards to endorse it. And once all 4 CAs have endorsed it, the CAs will begin to use this as a key communication tool throughout the consolidation period, but also a reference plan for us to refer back to when we get into discussions on the transition planning. So that has something to ground us and remind us of what our end goal is. So I know that Long Point board received and endorsed it last week. Grand is looking at it tomorrow at their board meeting, and I believe Catfish has a meeting in early June, and we'll hopefully we'll endorse it then. So with all that said, the minister's direction that went out, the report was in the advanced package that came out May 1st. Again, it's something that we expected to see, basically outlining things that they don't want the CAs to be doing in terms of hiring and firing senior staff, hiring and firing staff related to our core programs and services, but also making major purchases. I was pleased to see that the threshold for those guardrails was fairly high. It's set at 500,000, or I believe it's 5 or 10% of the operating budget. So for us, that threshold is probably around $150,000. And I would say that there's no decisions in that threshold that aren't included in the budget or haven't already received approval. So I don't expect that we will need to go to the province to ask permission for anything that's outlined in that directive, but certainly we're conscious of it, and we'll be vetting all decisions over the in the transition period against that directive. So what I'm asking for today is just receiving the minister's direction, appointing myself and Sharon McMillan, who has volunteered to be the ministerial elected representative on that transition committee, and that you receive the staff report and the guiding principles for the transition, and that we endorse the Lake Erie Regional Conservation Authority guiding principles for transition.
Thank you very much for that step by step. It was very good for you to lay that out for easier understanding. The recommendation is on the floor. I will ask for a mover and a seconder, and I know there will be lots of comments. So if we can just take our turn when it comes to providing that. So I need a mover and a seconder for the recommendations that have been merged together. Todd? Seconder, can I get someone to second?
I can
Second.
second Lori.
Thank you,
Okay, there you
Sharon.
go.
Questions
And
or comments from the committee?
I do have a comment. I raised my hand. Great report. Thanks, Elizabeth. Just want to go back, if you can shed a wee bit of light on when it comes to choosing the CAO from the applicants that are submitted, who's responsible for that? Does that go directly up? Is there any involvement from any of the board members? I just wondered if you had a little bit of information. Thanks.
From chair to Sharon, unfortunately, I don't. I can relay what my understanding is. The post came from the Ontario Provincial Conservation Agency. So I'm assuming they are the ones that will make the decision on the hiring of that project executive for the 8 regions. I don't know if that will be the board, the OPCA board making that decision, or the OPCA staff making that decision. It's not clear. I will say though that this local board or the regional CA will not necessarily have a say in who that first GM is. It's my understanding that that project executive will be determined out of this post. They will oversee the transition to February 1st, and that as of February 1st, they will become the new GM of those regional boards. So there'll be that transition, and they will serve as the new GM of the region for up to 2 years. And then the regional boards will decide whether or not they want to continue that person in the position, rehire, or that then at that time is when the regional CA will have power over that CAO.
Thanks, Elizabeth.
Thank you, Elizabeth. Is there anyone else that has any? I only see 6 names, so please speak up.
I guess
Go ahead, John.
this whole thing is just, in the end, we're going to keep paying and we'll have no say. It's the way the conservation boards were set up to start with is exactly how they should be set up. And this is just a crock. Just here's the bill, no representation, pay it. It's sickening. That's all.
Thank you. Is there any further comments from the members? Then my 2 cents on that regional consolidation is I am still concerned about our community partners. I'm concerned about our donators, making sure that we can maintain that level of donations that we've been able to do. I am concerned about our supporters, and I'm concerned about volunteers because we've taken this from a local regional area that was non-political and made it a very political piece. And hopefully we can stay in that non-political realm as we move forward. And those are my comments. So we've had the discussion. Is there no further discussion on it? Seeing none, roll call, please, Elizabeth.
Todd Noble. Frank Burrs.
Yes.
Grant Jones.
Yes.
Sharon McMillan.
Yes,
Jerry Pribble. Jerry.
Yes.
Thank you. John Wilson
Yes.
and Lori Baldwin Sands.
Yes.
And that motion passes.
Thank you. Our next item is the 2027 budget submission timeline. Elizabeth?
Thank you. So as you can see in the timeline that I presented in the last report, the municipal elections will happen in October. And we do expect further direction from the ministry that to have our budgets for 2027 approved and completed by the end of the year. And so with the municipal elections coming when they do, I do think it's a good idea to have this board of directors approve and debate on our 2027 budget, but also give the opportunity for these municipal councils to weigh in on that as well, as they are going to be the ones that have the keenest understanding of how the CAs have worked up to today, or up to this transition time. So what I'm proposing is typically we wouldn't get to look at draft budgets until late summer, but I'm suggesting a very accelerated timeline where I would be presenting a first draft budget at the next board meeting and releasing it for consultation with the member municipalities. A second draft budget coming back on July 15th that incorporates the capital into that one. And then looking at the municipal apportionment vote on August 19th and the budget vote being September 16th, 2026. Again, the reason for this is because we do expect the ministry to direct us to have our budgets done before December 31st. And I want to take advantage of your membership and the current councils weighing in on our budget for 2027. You'll also recall that it's these your municipalities right now that are participating municipalities right now are the ones that will be expected to pay for the 2027 budget, even though the regional CA boards are the ones that are going to be in place following the municipal elections in October. So in terms of initial looks at what that 2027 budget will look like, we did, as you recall, we do have that 5-year plan that was approved in accordance with that strategic work plan from 24 to 2027, with the last year looking at a 4% increase. I have taken a preliminary look at the budget, and I am recommending at this time that the draft B stay with that 4%. That's based on looking at what I know now of confirmed funding sources, modest increases to our self-generated revenue, and contingencies for things like inflation, which is really hard to predict at this time of the year, especially with the global affairs that are occurring right now. I am confident that I can achieve things within the 4%. However, I do want to warn members early on within this budget process that as I build the 2027 budget, I'm not accounting for things for consolidation costs that I anticipate may arise at some point during the 2027 year. And those things include things like wage alignment and pay equity across the region, benefit and insurance alignment. We're the only CA within the proposed region that currently have the Conservation Ontario benefits plan. The rest have other benefits plans from that. So there'll be, at some point in 2027, we'll have to consolidate those. And there might be savings, but there might be increased costs as well. Branding, I know that's not possibly a high priority, but it is something that we need to think about and prepare for. Permit centralization, the province has said that this is a key deliverable that they want to see in the consolidation, but I do anticipate there will be costs there, and it is related to software and hardware changes. So right now we use a lot of open source software in the office where we are not necessarily paying high bills for. Across the province, other CAs are using software like Esri that is a great tool, but comes with a high price tag that we've found solutions cost-effective solutions to avoid. So there's a myriad, and those are just the ones that I've thought of gearing up for this budget process. And just forewarning the board members that I can't predict the costs of those or when they might hit. And so I'm preparing a budget based on status quo and what I do know going into 2027. And that's why it's my recommendation that we proceed initially with a draft budget of the 4%. So I'm looking for approval today to approve the budget timeline so that the 2027 budget approval timeline report we received, and further that we proceed with the development of the 2027 budget as outlined in this initial report.
Thank you, Elizabeth. Before we have comments, could I get a mover and a seconder, please? Jerry, would you like to move it?
I can second.
Pardon me?
I can second.
Thank you, Grant. Jerry, did he move it?
Yes.
Thank you, Jerry. Okay, questions or comments from the members, please.
Lori, I have a question.
Thank you, Todd. Go ahead.
Through you, Lori, to Elizabeth, if there's increases in those costs, would they show up in would they be pushed over to the 2028 budget, or would they show up and come to the municipalities in the 2027 year?
Chair to Todd, I can't answer that. I don't know. There's been no direction from the province so far on things like that. I'm just making the board aware of, I don't know when those costs will come, but they will hit our budgets eventually. And I think there are things that we need to be conscious of and thinking of as we go into that transition committee and be identifying concerns like this to the province.
Guess my ideal thing would be to see that happen in 2027 and show up so that it's known that this is something that was caused by this amalgamation and not just a normal cost of living increase that we typically see from the Conservation Authority.
I have a question.
Okay, thank you, Todd. Thank you for your notes. Frank, go ahead, please.
Yes. Well, first thing, I don't see any place where I can put my hand up here in the controls, but we can answer that later. Couple comment. I think the 4% is probably reasonable. I see inflation's running at 2.4. All projections are inflation in the economy will go up. I agree with what Todd said. We will see other costs come into this that we have not seen before that are beyond our control. You look at the salaries of some of the people that are coming in, which was not there before. The question I have is on branding. Is that a concern where we're trying to keep our essence out there that we are Kettle Creek Conservation Authority? Can you comment on that, Elizabeth? And that's kind of important to volunteers, donations, and that kind of stuff, that we still have our own essence, or does this all get sucked into a bigger regional thing? Do you follow that? That was for Elizabeth.
Yeah, Chair to Frank, I follow. Again, I'm not sure. The assumption is that because as of February 1st, Kettle Creek will cease to exist. The only entity that will exist after February 1st is the Western Lake Erie Regional CA. And so the assumption is that signage, letterheads, envelopes, websites, they'll all have to be changed at some point in 2027. I'm saying that I can't predict what those costs are or when that change will happen. And so my suggestion right now is I'm leaving it out of the budget because I can't predict an unknown. But those are significant expenses that I think are going to hit our municipalities and the CAs in 2027 or 2028. It's just and I don't think this board can really predict that or have control over that because it'll be the regional conservation authority that will be dealing with the 2027, the implementation of the 2027 budgets. All I think that we
Okay.
can do is to be realistic in what our ask is of our municipalities for the 2027 budget and still protect our reserves for those unknown costs that we can
Mhm.
like manage that in 2027 and 2028.
Well, just a follow up, I read, at least I saw it in there, the province is throwing what, 3 million into the pot for extra administrative costs. I think I read that. So hopefully that goes to covering what you were talking about with new website, new letterhead and all that stuff. But it sounds like we're going to lose our identity. We'll become the bigger entity, and all the essence of all these conservation authorities are just going to disappear into that bigger thing. Okay, that's just a comment. No need to answer.
Thank you, Frank. And again, I only see 3 members of the board up on the front. So if you have a comment, please state your name.
Lori, it's Grant.
Go ahead, Grant.
Thank you, through you to Elizabeth. And I would agree with Frank. At some point, I know there's money that somebody in one of these presentations earlier on said that they'd be covering the cost of the transition. So I hope they honor that. I believe Frank is right with the 3 million, although I don't think 3 million goes very far.
Thank you, Grant. Any further comments?
I guess
Go ahead, John.
And this is back to when they originally brought out the sunshine list. Step 1 was bring out the sunshine list. Step 2 was do the amalgamations. So then everyone that was getting amalgamated from everywhere else knew what everyone else was making. Well, I want to get this. So this isn't going to save them any money. They're going to take a look at the list of what everyone in the biggest board is making, and then everyone in the smaller boards is going to go, hey, if I'm in the same board as this guy, why the hell is he making $20,000 a year more than I am? And this whole thing is going to end up costing them so much more money than what it is now. It's a joke. It's an unfortunate joke, but it's a joke. They've got a few city conservation areas that they have trouble with, and they're throwing out dozens of babies with the bathwater. It's ridiculous. That's all.
Thank you. Is there anything further from the members? Thank you. Roll call, please, Elizabeth.
Sorry, Sharon, Grant had his hand up.
My apologies, Grant.
That's all right. I didn't say anything, but John has a very good point. We know with Southwest Public Health, when the amalgamation happened there, that all the wages went up to the highest who was being paid, whether it's in Oxford or Elgin. So yeah, prices will go up.
Thank you. Are there any other members with a comment? Thank you. Go ahead, Elizabeth, with the roll call, please.
Todd Noble,
Yes.
Frank Burrs,
Yes.
Grant Jones,
Yes.
Sharon McMillan,
Yes.
Jerry Pribble,
Yes.
John Wilson,
Yes.
and Lori Baldwin Sands.
Yes.
And that motion passes.
Thank you, Elizabeth. Our next item is Kirk Cousins Management Agreement. Go ahead, please, Elizabeth.
So the Kirk Cousins management agreement pertains to the lands immediately behind Regina Monday High School. As you are aware, we own a parcel, London District Catholic School Board owns a parcel, and then Chorus Entertainment also owns a parcel. This has been a long-standing management agreement between the 3 parties. And we've just missed doing the paperwork to continue the relationship. So I reached out to both Chorus and London District Catholic School Board. They're happy with the arrangement and want that agreement extended. So what I have prepared is a I've updated both management agreements, backdated them to January 1st, 2026, with an expiry date of December 30th, 2030, and a non-automatic renewal for another 5-year term, subject to notification conditions. Both Chorus and London District Catholic School Board are happy with those changes. What I'm asking for today is endorsement to have those agreements executed and secure the renewal.
Thank you. We have a recommendation. Frank, would you like to move that?
Sure, I'll move it.
Second
John,
it,
would you
Lori.
like to second it?
Sure, I'll second it.
Thank you, John. We have a mover and a seconder. We are opening up the floor for questions. Any questions from the members? Any comments?
I have a question, Chair.
Go ahead, Frank.
Through you to Elizabeth. I looked at the agreement. It was a while ago. How does this actually work? Each of the parties, there are 3, including us, we own part of this, correct? And what do? We manage it as a conservation authority, but how are the costs apportioned? Are they apportioned to the Catholic School Board, to Chorus Entertainment as they're incurred? Can you comment on that for me?
Sure. So yes, the 3 areas are held by us. The majority of the land is ours, and then Chorus owns a portion, and London District Catholic School Board mainly owns the ponds in the area. So we basically manage it on their behalf. There's no costs assigned to the London Catholic District School Board or Chorus Entertainment for that, mainly because we're using it for a trail system and a conservation area.
Okay. Thank you.
Any further comments? Then I just have one. I've noticed that we've had a really good relationship with their environmental management group at the high school, and I hope that relationship continues. I see that they go out and they do some cleanup and some planting of trees and some restoration work there on site. So I hope that relationship does continue as well.
Thanks, Lori.
I don't see any further questions or comments, so roll call, please.
Todd Noble. Todd Noble. Let me see. Frank Burrs.
Yes.
Grant Jones.
Yes.
Sharon McMillan.
Yes.
Jerry Cribble.
Yes.
John Wilson.
Yes.
And Lori Baldwin Sands.
Yes.
And that motion passes.
I see Sharon with a hand out. Is that?
If I did, Lori, if it's still there, it should have been taken down. Sorry about that. I didn't have a comment on this or question.
Thank you. Our next item is Conservation Authorities Act regulated area mapping update. Elizabeth and others. Go ahead, please.
Yes, so I'll take this one, Chair. So if members recall, earlier, very early in the year, we brought you a report about our regulation mapping being updated, and you approved it going out for public review. We're reporting back that the public review has been completed. It was made available to the public on our website on February 20th. We've undertaken various things to make the public aware of the update. A website was created which detailed the information on how to access the mapping or view the proposed changes. We did 2 social posts were shared directing people to the website. And Mesa sent out various emails to municipal planning staff, engineering staff, as well as emails to local developers that we deal with on a variety of basis, and local engineering and planning consultants. In addition, we sent out 126 personal letters to properties that were not previously regulated, that are now included in the regulated areas of the mapping, to make them aware of the change as well. The response from the public, we received 11 inquiries back from the public. 8 were public residences. And a response from 1 municipal staff and 2 developers. And staff have been able to answer the questions of all of those inquiries to their satisfaction. Based on the feedback, we did make several adjustments to the draft mapping. I think the major adjustment was identified along roadways. Some drainage features were being captured that shouldn't have been. And so staff did make the call to take those out of the mapping. And some other minor changes were made as a result of ground truthing and feedback from the public. So moving forward, this will become a regular occurrence where we review our mapping annually and bring back to the board any changes that are needed. The major changes will become mainly through updates to our LiDAR and our swoop data. We should be getting those to the most up-to-date swoop and LiDAR, hopefully any day now. And so we'll incorporate those into a 2026 update that will be brought back next year in 2027. But just as a reminder to the board, KCCA's regulation mapping serves as a GIS-based screening tool. So it's very much just a screening. It's a visualization of the regulation and is a key tool that we use with the public and the variety of stakeholders, that they have the ability not just read the regulation, but to actually see it and understand it and identify areas where they should really be contacting us to interpret the mapping and the regulation and decide whether or not a permit is required on their property to undertake development. So what I'm asking for today is that in accordance with Ontario Regulation 4124, that we've completed a review and update of our regulated area mapping, and in accordance with the resolution FA26, that the draft regulation mapping was posted to KC's website and circulated for public review for a minimum period of 30 days, and therefore let it be resolved that the final draft mapping for Ontario Regulation 4124 be approved, posted to KC's website and circulated to member municipalities.
Thank you. Before I ask for a mover and a seconder, I will ask Frank and Jerry, I have you down for each moving and seconding one item on the agenda today. Is this an item you would like to move forward?
Sure, I'll move it.
Thank you, Frank. Jerry, would you like to second?
Sure, I will second this one.
Thank you very much. We have a mover and a seconder. I'll open the floor for comments from the members, please.
Lori, I have a question.
Todd?
I heard that Catfish has not done their mapping. How will that affect us when we go into this amalgamation?
It's a good question. My understanding is that Catfish has not updated their floodplain mapping in some areas. I don't know what the status of the regulation mapping is. But certainly that will be a thing that the new RCA will have to address.
Is there costs associated with that, Elizabeth?
There would be costs associated to that. I mean, the next report that you see on our agenda is we're updating our floodplain mapping for the Upper Kettle, which is about a $150,000 project. The regulation mapping update that we did hire an outside consultant as well to assist with that. And the new regulation states that we should be looking at our mapping basically every 5 years to keep it up to date and reviewing it annually. So, we've been building floodplain mapping and regulation mapping updates into our budget, and it will be something that the new RCA boards definitely will have to look at. One, to identify areas where mapping hasn't been done in the past, but also, consolidating the mapping to I believe, because, throughout the region, that will have to be done as well, and there will be a cost associated with that.
Okay, so we'll be paying for that.
The participating municipalities, yes, will be apportioned out those costs.
Thank you.
Thank you for your question, Todd. Is there any other questions or comments from the members, please?
Jerry's got his hand up, Lori.
Thank you. Jerry, I can't see your hand, so please just go ahead.
No, I know. Thanks, Lori. Through the chair, I just want to make a comment about this. And Elizabeth, good job. And I'm hearing that there were no issues in terms of residences affected by this. As I stated before, in London, just in my ward, there's over 100 affected by this. And Upper Thames, they have a meeting on Tuesday. At their board meeting, this is going to be discussed. I plan to attend. Having said that, I have to say that Upper Thames, they did make certain adjustments, which I'm happy with. But my biggest concern was that all the authorities throughout Ontario, according to my information, they use different methods. But anyways, I just want to update you on that. And I just want to say that I'm glad to hear that we don't have these issues under the Kettle Creek. So thank you for that.
Thank you for your comments, Jerry. Is there anyone else with their hand up? John?
I'd heard in the last few weeks about like some radio news and some, short documentary things about the percentage of Canada that doesn't have any of the information. And I was just like, I thought that was mandated, and I'm glad that we're on top of stuff. We don't have to worry about that here. Good job, Elizabeth.
Thank you for your comments. Is there anything else? Thank you. On the recommendation, roll call, please.
Todd Noble,
Yes.
Frank Burrs,
Yes.
Grant Jones,
Yes.
Sharon McMillan,
Yes.
Jerry Cribble,
Yes.
John Wilson,
Yes.
Frank Burrs, Lori Baldwin Sands,
Yes.
and that motion passes.
Thank you. Our next item is the updated floodplain mapping for Upper Kettle Creek Subwatershed Project. Go ahead, please.
Thank you. So this is an update for the rest of members. We were successful in getting funding from the Flood Hazard Identification and Mapping Program. So $75,000 is coming from that program, and we're matching it with $75,000 from our reserves for a total of $150,000. The project will update the riverine and flood hazard mapping for the entire Upper Kettle Creek subwatershed. So we're really pleased that we were able to get this funding to do a major portion of updated floodplain mapping for the watershed. Next slide. So staff did release that request for proposals after the funding was confirmed. We released an RFP on March 27th, and I was really pleased with the response back on that RFP. We got 9 responses back, and we met with the chair and vice chair to discuss the top proposals on May 6th. And we did, the chair and vice chair did give endorsement to engage Blue Coast Engineering. We did maintain an upset limit just to do some final negotiations with Blue Coast to add a hydrology model to the project, which brought the total project cost, I think, in and around $124,000. But anyways, we're very pleased with the response. Blue Coast is a known entity to the authority as well. Having done a number of other floodplain mapping projects and engineering reports in the watershed, so very familiar with our local landscape. So I am looking for just endorsement from the board today that the chair, vice chair, and staff work to secure that agreement with Blue Coast Engineering.
Thank you. On that recommendation, a mover and a seconder, I'll ask Todd and Sharon, would you like to move it?
Sure.
Yes.
Okay, so we'll have Todd move, Sharon second. Is there any comments that you would like to provide before we open it up to the floor?
Just a question to Elizabeth, Lori.
Certainly, of course, go Grant.
Through you to Elizabeth, is this the final piece of the puzzle for Kettle Creek Conservation Area?
So it's a major piece of the puzzle. What the staff are planning is we've done updated floodplain mapping for all the damage centers. So we've done for St. Thomas, we've done Port Stanley, and then last year we did the Dog Creek area. We have never done an update for this western portion. So it's the last big piece that we have to do. And then I'm hoping, at least my plan was for Kettle Creek, that we're doing each quadrant of the watershed every 5 years. So this is the last big portion that I would say that we have to do. So really please go ahead.
Thank you.
Thank you, Elizabeth. And Todd and Sharon, since you were involved with the earlier discussions on this, is there anything you would like to add?
I don't think I have anything to add, Lori. Thanks.
Thank you, Sharon. Todd?
I think the Blue Coast was picked because of past experience and getting a job done in a timely manner and working well with Kettle Creek.
Thank you. Those are good comments. Thank you. Anything from the members? Seeing none, roll call on the recommendation, please.
Todd Noble,
Yes.
Frank Burrs,
Yes.
Grant Jones,
Yes.
Sharon McMillan,
Yes.
Jerry Pribble,
Yes.
John Wilson. Thanks, John. And Lori Baldwin Sands.
Yes.
And that motion passes.
Thank you. Our next is our May Planning and Regulations Report. Our staff is on. Mesa.
Hi, the report is in the package, so let me know if you have any questions. Otherwise, recommend that the report be received.
Thank you. We have a recommendation on the floor. Can I get a mover and a seconder, please?
Jones.
And Todd, thank you.
Todd
Questions or
Noble,
comments from the members? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Todd Noble,
Yes.
Frank Burrs,
Yes.
Grant Jones,
Yes.
Sharon McMillan,
Yes.
Jerry Pribble,
Yes.
John Wilson. Thanks, John. Lori Baldwin Sands.
Yes.
That motion passes.
Thank you all. Our next item is closed session. So we will need a motion to go into closed. Can I get a mover for that, please?
I will move that, Lori.
I'll
Thank you,
second.
Sharon. And I'm sorry, who second? John?
Yep.
Thank you. Moving into closed session.
Moving into closed session at 11:10. Todd Noble. Frank
Yes.
Burrs,
Oh.
Grant Jones,
Yes.
Sharon McMillan,
Yes.
Jerry Pribble,
Yes.
John Wilson,
Yes.
and Lori Baldwin Sands.
Yes.
And we're moving into closed.